2018. The winters in Portland were always unsettling. Endless rain, empty streets, old apartment buildings with dark windows that felt like they were watching you. 26-year-old Ethan Cole worked the night shift as a food delivery driver. He lived alone. No real friends, just a dying social life, an old Honda Civic, and a bottle of sleeping pills he depended on every night. His biggest fear wasn't ghosts. It was silence, because whenever things became too quiet, he always felt like someone was standing behind him. He told himself it was anxiety, nothing more. At least, that's what he wanted to believe. Around 1:40 a.m., Ethan accepted one final delivery before ending his shift. The address was Blackwood Apartments, room 214. The building had a reputation across the city. People claimed tenants disappeared there. Others swore they had seen a woman staring from the second-floor window late at night. Even though room 214 had supposedly been empty for years, Ethan almost canceled the order. But he needed the money, so he drove there anyway. Rain hammered against the windshield as he pulled up to the building. The moment he stepped inside, something felt wrong. The entire apartment complex was completely silent. Not normal silence, dead silence. The elevator was out of service, forcing him to take the stairs. Every hallway light flickered weakly. Water stains covered the walls, and as he climbed higher, he started noticing something strange. Another set of footsteps, following his. Slowly, step, step, step. Ethan froze. The footsteps stopped too. He turned around. Nothing. Just darkness below the stairwell. He forced himself to laugh it off. "Old building," he whispered. Sounds echoing. Then suddenly, someone laughed down the stairs. Soft, wet, almost choking. Ethan felt every hair on his body rise. He quickly reached the second floor and stopped outside room 214. The door was already slightly open. Inside was complete darkness. "Delivery for Megan?" He called out. No answer. Only the sound of water dripping somewhere deep inside the apartment. Drip, drip, drip. Ethan pulled out his phone and turned on the flashlight. The beam slowly moved across the walls, and his stomach dropped instantly. Written across every wall were the same words repeated over and over again. "Don't look at her face," hundreds of times. Some of the writing looked smeared in something dark red. Ethan slowly backed away from the doorway. Then he heard it. Bare footsteps, dragging across the floor inside the apartment. Wet, uneven, getting closer. SHFF. 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 His shaking flashlight moved toward the hallway, and then he saw her, a thin woman standing at the far end of the corridor. White gown, long black hair covering her face, perfectly still. But that wasn't the worst part. Her feet were twisted backward. Ethan couldn't breathe. His body locked in place. The woman slowly tilted her head upward. Every light inside the apartment began flickering violently. C-L-I-C-K, C-L-I-C-K, C-L-I-C-K. Ethan's flashlight trembled in his hand. Then, the woman moved her hair away from her face, and Ethan screamed, because it wasn't a human face. She had no eyes, only two deep black holes. But her mouth stretched impossibly wide, ripped nearly to both ears, and she was smiling, a sick, unnatural smile no human should ever make. Then she spoke, in a low whisper. Ethan. His blood turned cold. He had never told her his name. You finally came back. Suddenly, Ethan felt someone standing directly behind him, so close that he could feel cold breath touching the back of his neck. Slowly, terrified, he began turning around, and his scream echoed through the entire building. Ethan's scream echoed through the halls of Blackwood Apartments. He spun around, but nobody was there. The stairway behind him was empty, cold, silent. Yet he could still feel that icy breath lingering against his neck. His survival instinct finally kicked in. He ran, not thinking, not looking back, just running. His shoes slammed against the wet hallway floor as he sprinted toward the stairs. Behind him, he heard the woman laughing, that same horrible, choking laugh. Closer now, faster. SHFF, 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 like bare feet dragging violently across soaked carpet. Ethan jumped down the staircase 2 steps at a time, but something felt wrong immediately. The building layout had changed. The second floor should have led directly to the lobby. Instead, another hallway waited below him. Another identical floor. Same flickering lights. Same stained wallpaper. Same dripping sound. Drip, drip, drip. Ethan stopped breathing. No. He looked at the apartment numbers. Again, his chest tightened. He had somehow returned to the same floor. That's when he noticed something else. The door to room 214 was now fully open, and the woman was gone. The hallway beyond the apartment was completely dark, but deep inside, something was moving. Ethan slowly stepped backward. Then his phone buzzed. Unknown number. With shaking hands, he answered. A weak, elderly voice whispered, "Ethan, if you're inside Blackwood, leave now." His heart nearly stopped. Who is this? The old man ignored the question. Did you look at her face? Ethan couldn't speak. The silence on the phone lasted several seconds. Then the man quietly said, "She remembers people who see her." A chill crawled through Ethan's spine. What the hell are you talking about? The old man took a shaky breath. 11 years ago, your mother lived in that building. Ethan froze completely. His mother had died when he was 15. Car accident. That's what everyone told him. You're lying. I wish I was. The old man coughed violently before continuing. There was no car accident. Your mother worked at Blackwood Apartments as a night manager. Ethan's hands started trembling uncontrollably. One night, tenants started reporting strange noises from room 214. People heard crying, scratching inside the walls, and a woman laughing. Ethan slowly looked toward the open apartment door. Darkness stared back at him. The old man continued, "Your mother went to investigate, and she never came out." Ethan felt dizzy. What happened to her? For a moment, the caller said nothing. Then, we found pieces of her jaw in the hallway. Ethan nearly dropped the phone. The old man's voice became weaker. After that night, anyone who entered room 214 either disappeared or killed themselves. Most said the same thing before dying. Ethan whispered, "What did they say?" The old man answered immediately. "She keeps smiling at me." Suddenly, a loud bang came from inside room 214. Ethan flinched violently. Another bang, then another, like someone smashing their head repeatedly against a wall. B-A-N-G, B-A-N-G, B-A-N-G. The lights overhead flickered harder now, and Ethan realized something horrifying. The sounds weren't coming from inside the apartment anymore. They were coming from directly behind him. Slowly, Ethan turned around, and his blood froze. A man was standing at the end of the hallway. His face was destroyed, teeth exposed, jaw hanging unnaturally low, blood running down his hospital gown. But the worst part, he was smashing his own head against the wall over and over again. B-A-N-G, B-A-N-G, B-A-N-G. Then the man suddenly stopped. Very slowly, he turned toward Ethan and smiled. Behind him, the woman from room 214 appeared again, standing upside down on the ceiling, watching Ethan silently. Her mouth stretched wider than before, until it split open completely, and inside her throat there were human teeth, hundreds of them, all moving, chewing, grinding, waiting. Then Ethan heard his mother's voice whisper directly into his ear, "Don't let her wear your face." And the hallway lights went out. Darkness swallowed the hallway. Ethan couldn't see anything. Not the man, not the woman, nothing. Only breathing, wet breathing, coming from every direction. His phone flashlight flickered weakly back on. For 1 second, he saw the hallway empty again. No upside-down woman, no bleeding man, just silence. Then his flashlight landed on the wall beside him, and Ethan nearly vomited. Written across the wallpaper in fresh blood were the words, "She found you again." His heart slammed against his ribs. Again? Before he could think, his phone suddenly played an old voicemail by itself. Static crackled through the speaker. Then, his mother's voice. "Ethan, if you hear this, don't trust her face." The recording distorted violently. A horrible grinding noise interrupted her voice, like teeth scraping together. Then the message ended. Ethan backed away in panic. That's when he noticed something at the end of the hallway. A stairwell door, slightly open, with light coming from underneath. He didn't remember seeing it before. Above the door, faded letters read, "Basement ACCESS." Another sound echoed behind him. SHFF, SHFF, SHFF. The woman was moving again, fast. Ethan ran for the basement door and slammed it shut behind him. Instantly, the noises upstairs stopped, completely. The basement smelled rotten, like wet concrete and dead animals. Dim emergency lights painted everything red. The deeper Ethan walked, the stranger the basement became. Old furniture, broken wheelchairs, mold-covered children's toys, and photographs. Hundreds of photographs hanging from strings across the ceiling. Every picture showed missing people, tenants, police officers, maintenance workers, all connected to Blackwood Apartments. And every single victim had the same thing circled in black marker, their mouths. Ethan's stomach twisted. Then he saw one final photograph near the back wall. His mother, standing beside room 214. Dated October 17th, 2007. Under the picture, someone had written, "She opened the door. Suddenly, a loud metallic click echoed behind him. Ethan turned around. The basement door had locked itself. Then the emergency lights died, one by one, until only darkness remained. Something began crawling nearby. Not walking, crawling, fast, bones cracking with every movement. Ethan pointed the flashlight toward the sound and screamed. The woman was on all fours now, her limbs bent backward like a spider. Her mouth hung open impossibly wide, and inside, human fingers moved between her teeth. Like something trapped inside her throat was still alive. She began crawling toward him rapidly. Too fast. Ethan stumbled backward and crashed into an old metal shelf. Boxes fell everywhere. One burst open beside him. Inside were videotapes, dozens of them, each labeled with years. 1963, 1964, 1965, 1966, and one tape labeled Ethan Cole. His blood ran cold. Hands shaking violently, he shoved the tape into an old VCR sitting nearby. Static filled the screen. Then the image appeared. Security camera footage. Blackwood Apartments lobby. Date, October 17th, 2007, 11:43 p.m. Ethan watched his mother enter the building basement, carrying a flashlight. She looked terrified. Behind the camera, someone whispered, "She likes children. She keeps the ones she marks." Then the footage changed. Ethan saw himself, 11 years old, standing motionless in the basement hallway, his eyes completely black. His mother grabbed him, crying hysterically, "You're not taking my son." The camera violently distorted. Then the woman appeared behind them, smiling. Even on tape, her face looked wrong. Like the video itself couldn't process her features. Ethan's mother shoved him toward the stairs. "Run." Then the woman opened her mouth, wider, wider, until it covered almost her entire face, and the screen suddenly cut black. Ethan stared in horror. His memories came flooding back. The nightmares, the silence, the feeling of someone behind him his entire life. It had never stopped, because he had already met her once before, and she had marked him. A wet cracking sound echoed behind him. Ethan slowly turned. The woman stood inches away now, smiling directly into his face. Then, in his mother's voice, she whispered, "You were supposed to stay with me."